In the year 1863, thousands of enslaved people fled plantations across Mississippi. They had heard life-changing news. The Union Army had captured the town of Natchez, Mississippi. To them, this meant something powerful. Freedom. Men, women, and children walked for miles through forests and fields hoping to reach the Union soldiers. They believed their suffering was finally over. But what happened next turned hope into one of the darkest tragedies of the American Civil War, because the place they were taken to would soon be known by a terrifying name. Welcome to Untold Reality Daily, where we uncover the forgotten stories history tried to bury. The Devil's Punchbowl, a natural trap. Just outside Natchez lies a deep ravine carved into the earth. Its shape resembles a giant bowl. The sides are steep and difficult to climb. Once you are inside, getting out's not easy. Today, trees cover the area and the place appears peaceful. But in the 1860s, this ravine became something very different. It became a camp, a place where thousands of newly freed slaves were forced to live. And for many of them, it became a place they would never leave alive. Freedom seekers arrive. When Union forces captured Natchez in 1863, word spread quickly across nearby plantations. Enslaved people began escaping in large numbers. They traveled through forests. They crossed rivers. Some carried children on their backs. Others arrived injured and exhausted. But they kept moving, because they believed the Union Army represented safety. To many of them, this was the first real chance at freedom they had ever known. Soon, thousands of freed slaves arrived in Natchez. The Union soldiers quickly realized they had a problem. There were far more people arriving than they could care for. The camp in the ravine. To control the growing population, Union authorities made a decision. They moved the refugees into the large ravine outside the city. The steep walls made it easy to guard, and the camp quickly filled with people. Some historians believe that tens of thousands of freed slaves passed through the Devil's Punchbowl camp during this time. The Union Army referred to them as contrabands, a term used for escaped slaves during the war. But to the people inside the ravine, the word freedom began to feel distant, because life inside the camp was extremely difficult. Life inside the Devil's Punchbowl. The camp was overcrowded almost immediately. Thousands of people were forced to survive in a small area. Food was scarce. Clean water was limited. Shelter was almost non-existent. Families built small huts using branches, cloth, and scraps of wood. But the camp kept growing as more escaped slaves arrived every week. Disease spread rapidly: smallpox, dysentery, malaria. Without proper medicine or doctors, sickness moved quickly through the camp. And when thousands of people are trapped together in poor conditions, illness spreads like wildfire. The deaths begin. Soon, people inside the camp began dying. Children were among the first victims. Weak from hunger and disease, many could not survive. Older men and women followed. But even strong adults eventually fell ill. Graves were dug in the surrounding area, but the deaths continued. Some accounts claim thousands of people died inside the Devil's Punchbowl camp. The exact number may never be known. But the suffering experienced there left a deep scar on history. Why they couldn't leave. Many people ask the same question when they hear this story. Why didn't the refugees simply leave? The answer is complicated. Union soldiers guarded the camp. They feared that large groups of freed slaves wandering the countryside could create conflict with local residents. Some men were eventually allowed to leave if they joined the Union Army as laborers or soldiers. Others were sent to work on nearby plantations. But many people remained trapped inside the ravine. For them, the Devil's Punchbowl became a place of waiting for food, waiting for medicine, waiting for a future that still seemed uncertain. The name that remained. Over time, the ravine became known by a dark name, the Devil's Punchbowl, partly because of its shape, but mostly because of the suffering that happened there. To those trapped inside, the place felt cursed, a place where hope had arrived, but survival was never guaranteed. The forgotten tragedy. For many years after the Civil War ended, the story of the Devil's Punchbowl was rarely discussed. History books focused on famous generals and major battles. They told stories about victories and strategies. But the suffering of thousands of freed slaves in that ravine remained largely forgotten. Only later did historians begin uncovering the accounts of what happened there. Today, the Devil's Punchbowl is recognized as an important but painful part of American history. A reminder that freedom did not come easily for those who had been enslaved. The story of the Devil's Punchbowl reminds us that the path to freedom is often complicated. Sometimes it comes with struggle. Sometimes it comes with suffering. And sometimes history forgets the voices of those who endured it. But remembering these stories helps us understand the true cost of freedom and why those voices should never be forgotten. If you want to continue discovering powerful stories like this, make sure you follow Untold Reality Daily so you never miss the next untold chapter of history. And now we want to hear from you. Why do you think stories like the Devil's Punchbowl remained hidden for so many years?